Hello to all my fans and friends here on YouTube. This is KennyFan701, and for those of you who are going to be asking me, did I enjoy New Year's Day? You're damn right I did, because it was a fantastic time. Because I went to a football match at the Villa Stadium, and Aston Villa, my favourite team that I grew up watching, dominated the Bristol City, and they absolutely thrashed them 5-0. Now I predicted they were going to go either 1 or 2, but wow, holy footballs, man. They absolutely just went thrashing through, and it made the headlines already in the papers. You know, the first football match for the Villa to win 5-0 straight up without even their opponents getting a team up to even up with them. That is pure dominant right there. I'm telling you guys, I was so thrilled. I mean, the crowd went ballistic. Some were crying happy tears. Some jumped up into joy. And I was just among the attendants who were there. Because I went with my brothers and my nephews. And oh, I'll tell you what, I have never seen anything so awesome of what it was, you know. It was just fantastic, you know. The fireworks blew off before the match even started. It absolutely chucked it down with rain when we got there because it was very cold. But as soon as near the match ended, a full moon popped out, and it was an amazing match. And you know, in the first 10 minutes of it though, Villa didn't play too well, but they picked up the pace and they eventually got underway, and it was fantastic. They really showed that they are legit, despite the fact that Villa have some, you know, they have not been playing well recently, but today I think begins the year for this team to go all the way, and I believe that, man. But besides all the fun and glory, and the glorious victory for Aston Villa to win last night, unfortunately, that was just the calm before what was going to happen today. And, I hate to say this, lads, but, today has also been a day of mourning. A day of where you have to say goodbye to someone that you were close to and loved so much. Unfortunately today, January the 2nd, as I like to call post-New Year's Day, in my opinion. Unfortunately, me and my family and everybody else, we had to go and attend to my grandfather's funeral. It was a very cold day, and it was just, you know, a lot of mourning was going on, and as you can tell, I'm still wearing my suit that I had to wear to bid my grandfather his final farewell. There was a lot of sobbing and a lot of tearful stuff going on, and it was a very hard time. But I actually went and I attended it, and I was brave, strong, and I did it because my grandfather would have wanted it. And we read and we celebrated his life and everything that we was told from start to end. And my aunties had to give their final farewells to thank them for what they did. Even my mother as well attended and said a great farewell speech. And of course, the family looked on strong, and it was a sorrowful time. And I actually held my own back, you know, because I wanted to go in there determined, and you know, because I feel that my grandfather right now is probably looking upstairs, smiling down, praising for me for what I did with my family, and that we gave him the final farewell that he so rightfully deserved. My grandfather lived to be 83 years of age, as some of you may be aware of, and he died peacefully in his sleep, and which was 2 months ago. But his farewell was exactly as we wanted it to be. The final curtain did not close on him. His casket wasn't taken into the ground to be vanished. It was kept there for us all to see. And Yeah. But at the end of the event, we went up. The entire family went up, and we put roses on my grandfather's casket, and we said our final goodbyes. Some of us patted on top of the lid, and some of us kind of gave it a little hug. But I just kind of did a few things, including a Navy salute, because my grandfather served in the military. And of course, before I left, I kind of said the last word to him, thanking him for being there, for watching me grow up, and for being there whenever I felt down and that I needed someone to be there with. And I'm going to miss my grandfather so much that I'll miss his smile, I'll miss the chattering I had with him, and the great sense of humour that he had. He never once ever lost his temper. He was a lovely, charming, and handsome man that loved his grandchildren so much. He loved his family, he loved his friends, he loved to go out partying, he loved going abroad, wandering around and travelling a lot. But I just don't know how I'll be able to cope without seeing him again. But it all went well, and of course we did what was best. I just don't know how I'm going to cope without my grandfather, because I miss him so damn much. He was something that anyone would have wanted. I mean, if any of you guys would have seen my grandfather, he was such a lovely, kind person. Someone to sit down and talk to with, and someone to be admired. He was a legend, a hero, and an icon. Someone that idolised me, because he believed in what I could do. And when I graduated in 2013, he came up and said, that he was so proud of me, that he did what he had to do, the embracement we had. And it was amazing. I mean, I loved him so much. But I just don't know how I'm going to cope without him. I just don't know how, but the life in my family does seem to be forever shattered. But we will pull through, and I will try my best to be happy for my grandfather. And I just wish everybody, if anybody else has been through the same torment and of losing someone close, then I can understand how you guys would feel, and you probably would understand how I'm currently feeling. But in any cases, though, the funeral went on as exactly as we wanted it to be. My granddad's been cremated, and hopefully we'll find somewhere where we can put his final resting place in. It's just been one of those days where it's happened, But we've done it, and my grandfather's in a better place. Reunited with old friends from his time, and of course reunited with some of my uncles up there as well, including my good dog Yogi, if any of you guys remember. He's probably up there having a chat with him right now and playing around with him. Or as my grandfather would say, not tolerating any nonsense. But I miss him. And I would like to take this time, I know I never said it at the funeral, but I would like to say this. Grandad, I want to thank you for everything that you did for me when I was in my down moments, when I felt like life was nothing but an absolute shell of misery. You never stopped believing in me. You always knew I could do things, even when the odds were stacked against me. Well, I've come this far in my life, and I won't give up. I'll continue on doing what I have to do. And I'll never let anyone down, including you. If you're up there right now listening, I dedicate everything that I'll do to make you feel proud, even if you're not there with me physically. Grandad, I will never trade anything that what we did together. From growing up in my childhood, into my teenage life, to where I am now. You were always there for me, and you always showed your love and support. When there comes a time where you had to leave, it was probably your time to go, and you went out in a blaze of glory like a true legend should. You lived your ways, and you died by your ways. As the old saying goes, you live by the sword, and you die by the sword. And that's exactly what he did. Grandad, I'll miss you so much, but I'll always remember the memories we made together. And even though you're not here with me physically, you'll always be with me, in my memory, and in my heart and soul, forever. Thank you, Grandad. I missed you so much.